How did this come about? I know you've had a relationship with IBM for a good long time, but who really approached whom? And maybe as important, why is Red Hat worth more in the hands of IBM than on its own? I understand IBM is really taking a big step forward. Why is Red Hat better off?
Sure. Well, we've been working with IBM for many, many, many years, and really over the course of this entire year, we've started to do more together. We made some big announcements at May at our summit, more work that we're doing together. Ginni and I really started speaking more seriously back in April, and so it's been something that's just kind of continued to evolve, and it just became a natural next step. In terms of why we see so much value for Red Hat is we do see tremendous opportunity for open source in the enterprise, and as the leader there, we see just a large market and a growing market in front of us. What we have lacked is scale in our go-to-market. We've lacked the depth of customer relationships because, again, we're a newer player kind of coming up. We've lacked deep industry vertical expertise, and we lack just the overall level of investment we need to meet our full potential. IBM brings all of that. So together, we can dramatically accelerate the Red Hat business and what we do today, and then together be able to offer unique offerings that can continue to grow IBM's business as well.
So Ginni, what about from your point of view, from the point of view not just of IBM, but of Ginni Rometty, because a lot of people said IBM needs to make a move. This is a big move. This is going to be, if not your biggest move, one of your biggest moves during your tenure as CEO. Why did you decide this is going to be your legacy, or at least an important part of your legacy?
Well, we've been reshaping IBM for this moment, and this is, to me, all about resetting the entire cloud landscape, and this is the inflection point to do it. Because if you look at our clients, chapter one of the cloud's over. They've moved the easy 20%, the cost saving that they wanted to get done. That's done, but the 80% ahead, that is a $1 trillion market, and this is the moment, and to go after it, they need a hybrid cloud. They need what Jim and I do together. They need hybrid, meaning on-prem, a private cloud, many public clouds. They need it based on open standards. They tell us they're tired of the lock-in. The other clouds are often a lock-in. We are the true open source, the portable answer for them. And we need to manage multiple clouds, and they also have data now spread everywhere that we can securely pull all together. So this next chapter is a $1 trillion market. 80% of their workloads are going to move. Jim just talked about our industry expertise, our services, our ability to do that, and we're going to give them that answer. So we catapult ourselves into number one. And you have to remember, Jim, Linux, IBM, open source, we together are the biggest contributor to the open source community. We have a long history and legacy of that. And Linux is the starting point for the cloud, and it's a destination. So when I say phase two, we own the starting point and the end point now. That is a great move for IBM, and it's why it's so really accelerating all of IBM and good for our high-value model.
So to both of you, you got it done, and congratulations. It's not easy to get a big deal like this done, but you both know that's the starting point, not the ending point. The question is then, what do you do with it? You've seen, Ginni, you've seen a lot of mergers that look good on paper, but they never get executed properly. How are you going to execute this? Because as I understand, Red Hat will still be a separate unit, but it'll be part of IBM. Can you really bridge that gap on culture effectively?
Yeah, well, we'll both answer that, but let me start because I've done 60 acquisitions. I've done IBM's largest acquisitions, and I really pride ourselves in being able to take these cultures and get the best of them put together. And there's a reason that Red Hat's going to be a distinct unit. We understand that open source community very well. Remember, Red Hat's bringing to IBM 8 million developer plus ecosystem, and we know that you've got to remain neutral with that. So we scale that wide to do it. Jim and team, Jim will work for me, but the team will be part of the hybrid cloud unit, but they'll be their own brand, their culture, Raleigh, Boston, there are other sites around the world. And so on one hand, we scale them, on the other, we build on them and lift all of IBM. So it is really bringing our clients, which is, by the way, what has driven Jim and I, is what our clients, and we've got hundreds of notes from them telling us, this is the right thing. This is what the enterprise needs to get to the cloud, and you guys understand that. So, in fact, I'm here today in Raleigh because it's the most important message is to really the employees about how valuable they are and that this is about growth. This is not a cost synergy acquisition. This is pure growth in a market we both see.
Yeah, just to emphasize that this is not about taking people out. This is about growth. It's about acceleration. And when you can do that, it doesn't become about us and them. It's about a better together. We can do more together. And so we will be a distinct unit, which I think will help us with our culture and continue to scale our culture. But when there's so much benefit to our customers, and then ultimately, that turns into better growth for the company, I feel comfortable that everyone will see the value in that, and we'll be able to work very collaboratively together.
Ginni, the conversation in the analyst community, particularly our analysts here at Bloomberg Intelligence, has been what is your commitment to the open source hybrid platform versus at some point pushing IBM's legacy software? Can you tell us how you're going to do that?
Look, our commitment to open source, we are the largest contributor, and with Red Hat together, we are the largest contributor. So our actions speak for that. And things like blockchain, as you know, we've heavily invested in, we've open sourced all that. Hyperledger is the fastest growing part of the Linux Foundation. And so I think our actions are the best way to prove that. And the other is our whole hybrid cloud. We're a $19 billion cloud business already. We built it on containers. We built it on Kubernetes. These are the key essential parts of open source that form the foundation for the hybrid cloud. Same as what Jim has built with OpenShift and the like, which is why they are so complementary together, and we build right on top of them. So our solutions already demonstrate that commitment to the open source world.
Look, to me, this really does break one of the age-old compromises in technology, where you either say you have horizontal layers which provide a lot of choice, but you don't get the value of deep integration that when you tie the pieces together. What this allows us to do is have that broad horizontal ecosystem that we can deliver in open source that can run anywhere, but IBM can take those pieces and integrate them into tailored solutions to meet specific industry vertical applications or specific things where security is incredibly important and you need that integration. So we can do both. So it becomes a yes and in a way that no one else can do or has been able to do.
The big thing our clients are telling us, they are tired of many of the other clouds. They are all proprietary. We are actually the open native answer. So this is about open versus proprietary.
So Ginni and Jim, for that matter, but Ginni, I think we understand, because Bloomberg Intelligence, our colleagues, Honorary Ron, has really written about this and said this is really exciting because you have this huge growth in hybrid cloud, open source hybrid cloud. At the same time, there are macro factors as well. We see them with concerns about tariffs. We see softening global growth. We see it even in the tech sector right now as some of these companies are really getting hit on the earnings. Can that slow down the growth you're looking forward to? I understand you're growing the pie, but what if the overall economy and particularly tariffs are really holding you back, Ginni?
Okay, well, first I can speak for IBM. The tariffs have not held us back, and being in 170 countries with a global supply chain. But what I do see is that this move to Chapter 2 for our clients, irrespective of the economy, and even if a slowing, is actually in their favor, the move we're making here. I'll give you an example. Big bank, Westpac, Australia, all to a hybrid cloud environment, 3 times faster, 3 times less expensive, 10 times faster. And so that, whether you're a growing economy, a declining economy, that's a move you are going to make because it is in your best interest in both of those situations. And so that's, I think, why this is pretty much immune to that, what we are doing. It is a trend that our clients are going to continue to go on, whether it's to fuel innovation or to save themselves money. It offers them the ability to do both of those things.
But Ginni, if you look
emphasize that, we've been doing that for years. We've had 68 quarters of continuous growth, all the way through the Great Recession in 2008. The beauty of open source technologies and what we can do with open hybrid cloud is they give you more innovation and they give you lower cost. And so what we've done for a long time is in difficult markets, we talk about the cost savings, and in strong markets, we talk about innovation. And in both cases, we can continue to grow. And again, by bringing the scale of IBM in our go-to-market, I think we can substantially grow, whether it's a bad market, great market.
Well, Ginni, just to press on that, though, because your stock is down in pre-market. It was down as much as 5%, and it was also wrapped into the sell-off that we've seen, in part because of concerns that we're at sort of the peak earnings, we're cresting earnings, and sort of where do we go from here? How do you continue to grow? I understand the Red Hat acquisition, but what do you make of your stock not participating in the equity rally in the futures market?
Yeah, look, I think it was, you're talking about pre-market here a second ago.
Yeah.
I think in doing these shows, as everyone better understands what this is, I again want to go back to how it accelerates our high value model. 200 basis points of revenue compounded 5 years on a company our size is significant. But even more so in year one, this is accretive to free cash flow. This is accretive to gross margin. And at the same time, we are maintaining our growing dividend. And so these are really important factors. And we stay very strong investment grade with ample financial flexibility. So I think as the market understands this, they will be very confident as we are in it.